Why is it so hard to believe that South Africa is actually a decent place for us as Black Americans, bro? I don't understand. It's probably one of the more comfortable places I've been. It is one of the more comfortable places I've been personally. I'm not saying it's the best place in the world, but what I am saying is that if I had to choose between this place and a bunch of other places, man, I would probably pick here. I mean, there were some other places, even places in Asia that I, was keen of. But I'm saying for an overall experience, I just can't, I can't really compare too many countries to this place. And it's not because of the beautiful views. And I just feel easy while I'm here, man. I just feel like I actually kind of fit in. It's kind of, I feel like as Black Americans, that's probably one of the main issues I've always dealt with, is not fitting in when I travel somewhere. Like, when you go to most South American countries, English is a second language in all these countries, but they teach English in school here. I mean, to the point to where most people are actually fluent. Now, you still have the accent, aspect of it. You got to try to understand through an accent, but most people are fluent. And even if you go to the rural areas, they speak English because they learn it in school. That was one of my issues in South America, was speaking broken Spanish and partly maneuvering, through the culture. Another thing is, people say, well, why you picked Cape Town? It's probably the whitest city in. You escaped America. And I could believe it escaped. I was, I guess, a runaway slave, because when you're in America, you have to be enslaved to survive. You enslaved to a job, you enslaved to a career, you enslaved to a relationship, you enslaved to something whenever you're in America. So they're like, well, you went to the whitest country you could find. I mean, you went to the whitest part of South Africa you could find. Technically, yeah, I guess. You know what I mean? But it wasn't just because I wanted to be surrounded by, white folks. It was just because this was the first place I came and I fell in love with it, dog. I done been to smaller cities. I done been to, all the major cities. And it just seems like, Cape Town is the place for me, bro. Personally, man. Or I would recommend buying property out here. I would buy more property out here. I would, live here long term. Some of the other cities, yes, I would also do Johannesburg. Johannesburg is just a little bit too much city for me, a little too fast paced. I grew up in the city. I would prefer to live something more slow, like I am now. Do I deal with racism? Not really. Honestly, I feel like it's kind of like in America. You know how Africans and Caribbeans go to America and don't really have the same problems we have? It's because what they say, white people would prefer to deal with their own niggas. Does that make sense? Like, white Americans would prefer or rather be racist towards Black Americans, just like white South Africans are typically a certain way towards Black South Africans. It's pretty much anywhere around the world you'll find that same vibe, and that's one of the things that I'm talking about. So I haven't really, as of recently, when I first got here, I had a couple incidents, but it's so cringy and weird, like how you would go through an incident like that, and then once they find out that you're not like a South African, now all of a sudden you're cool. Like, man, we ain't cool, because if you treat your own people like that, then that means that's how you really feel. So on that aspect, and you get the beach, you get the mountain. If you're a hiker, you get a lot of outdoorsy activities, man. You get a lot of sun, a lot of that vitamin D. When I'm done with this video, I'm gonna take my mask off. Somebody said to me, we can't take you seriously until you take that mask off. And I said, you ain't gotta take me seriously. You watching my channel. Your opinions are your opinions. What you think about me, how you feel about me, I'm not doing anything illegal. I follow the laws of South Africa. I move how I'm supposed to move. I treat the people with kindness. I respect people. If you can't respect me because I choose to do my videos in the ski mask, then don't watch the channel. You start a YouTube channel and then you talk about what you want to talk about. But on this channel, we gonna talk about what I want to talk about, and I'm gonna be real about it. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna sweeten it up for you. I'm gonna keep it G. I'm gonna tell you what you need to know. So, would I ever consider living anywhere? Yeah, I would definitely consider living in Sandton or Sunninghill. In Durban, I'm not a big fan of Durban, as y'all know from my previous videos. If you haven't, go check those videos out. I'm not the biggest fan on Durban. I would live in Limpopo. Before I would live in Durban, I would live in Mthatha. Real shit. And they say Mthatha is probably one of the most dangerous places in South Africa. I would choose Mthatha over Durban any day. From there. Peace.